I'm curious. How long is Holo versus Robo? Average playtime 4 minutes and 25... 4 hours and 25 minutes. I don't have that time. I think you need to... I think we know what needs to happen. Oh wait, no, there's a guy here who did 3 hours and 50...
If you don't know, Holo vs. Robo is a PvZ fan game based on Hololive. If you don't know what that is, I'm not going to explain it because it's basically Plant vs. Zombies. I was bored in Australia today and I decided, you know what? I guess I have some time. Let's see how fast I can beat this game, right? So, you know, if you don't know, there's a few PvZ strats here that I'm going to basically do, PvZ speedrunning strats. I think I got a pretty fast time, but I'm not entirely sure because there's no leaderboard for this game. So, yeah, I guess I'll be explaining my playthrough, how it's gonna go. And if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's just jump right into it.
The first couple rounds are rather uneventful. We get introduced to Ame and Ollie as a damage dealer and as cheer producer, respectively. However, our first powerhouse of the run is Korone, a 125 cheer cost unit that deals heavy damage up close. If you place her straight up the front, she melts robots by the time they hit on the screen. And the reason you want to take them out fast is usually because the waves start earlier. Since there's a delay in each wave of robos being sent out, by killing a robo faster, waves will spawn faster, and thus we can go through levels, saving a bit of time. Another habit you're probably going to be seeing a lot this run is the immense use of cheer producers, typically 3 to 4 rows. Now, I actually only found this out recently, but apparently runners do this to afford instant plans to start waves as fast as possible. Well, for now I don't have access to any. I'll soon be able to get Kanade, who will function as basically our cherry bomb for the rest of the run. Fun little fact, this is actually my first time playing the game at all, so I actually had no idea what to expect from future level layouts and also future Hololive members I'd be unlocking. While I was yapping, I should have unlocked Okayu, our walnut equivalent, Lamy, a slowing version of Ame, and our goat for the rest of the run, Mori Calliope, who is basically a better squash in every single way, shape, and form. I also skipped past it, but after defeating the first few levels, we were introduced to Gigi Murren's Shoebox, the shop of the game with some exclusive units for us to enjoy. Wanting to go fast and not entirely regarding what abilities each member had, I had settled on Ryora, the Pink Panther who draws Shachinis to the closest enemy from base. It was an alright pick, all things considered, since it focused on the closest member and the little Chatinis tanked hits for my Corones. While I was yapping, I must have unlocked both Ina, the Takodachi summoner, and Cecilia, the piercing melee damage user. While I tried to make Cecilia viable in this strategy, Korone simply had too much DPS to pass up, so overall I ended up using her more. You may have noticed it, but spliced in between levels we're introduced to conveyor belt levels, which in contrast to regular PvZ conveyor belt levels, allows the player to choose what units are going to appear on the conveyor belt. This allows for incredible strategy as you can either choose a handful of small units with a high chance for each to show up, or a wide variety of units to deal with a diverse amount of threats. With that we finish World 1 and go straight to World 2 with no delay. While World 1 was a concert venue, World 2 seems to be more festival-oriented, this world also introducing the bane of my existence, turrets. Turrets function as 3 tile graves that shoot down the line if a unit is occupying it. They can be destroyed via any damaging unit, but they basically prevent me from placing crazy up far up, where I like to place my units. Doesn't help that they can't be destroyed by instant units, so I basically had to place a Korone to kill a turret fully. A huge waste of sun, or a huge investment of sun for very little return in terms of speedrunning. Further notes include a few new units. Zeta is like a double Ame, shooting 2 bullets instead of 1. Nodoka is basically a wall unit that produces cheer while being eaten. And Aqua is like a budget Zeta with a scaredy shoot mechanic of not shooting when an enemy is too close. Furthermore, I haven't really talked about the different enemy types you can encounter throughout the run. We basically have Robo Iroha, who charges and kills the first unit she runs into, Robo Achons with different levels of armor, and now a Robo Vivi, who jumps between lanes every couple tiles. Going more into the info dump, Robo Narissa functions as a newspaper zombie, going faster after her burger has been defeated. The 2 new units now are Flare, who shoots fire, to be honest I never really used her, and Noelle, who seems to have a stunning mechanic that I unfortunately didn't use in favor of pure DPS. Skipping a few levels, this run so far has been going pretty easy. Nothing so far has really gotten me struggling, and none of the new enemies really pose a challenge so far. Robo Miko is kind of similar to Robo Iroha, except that she can instantly kill any unit she comes across, and also leaves a lava puddle after she dies. And the new units, Towa and Matsuri, are good units, however I'm speedrunning, so they don't really become all important that much in the run. This, however, is when I unlock what I'd argue is the most important unit in the run, Amane Kanata. While I didn't realize that at the time, she was our Chomper equivalent. And if you don't know why Chomper is so strong in PvZ speedrunning, let me explain. Since we understand that we want to kill enemies as fast as possible, Kanata acts as a one-shot kill on basically any enemy in the game. While expensive, by placing many cheer producers to cover for her cost, she basically acts as the best option when it comes to defeating enemies as soon as they come onto the screen due to her fast recharge time on top of her ability. Nothing from the Soda Iris to Kobo's Instant Rain come close to beating this unit. With her by our side, we absolutely smash through the rest of World 2. Unlocking Luna, the rocket-launching princess, Muna, the soon-to-be essential unit of the run, and Mari, the unfortunately useless masochistic pirate with an attack buff the more injured she gets. With World 3 arrives the mechanic of water. Some units can be placed in it, most can't. That's pretty much it. Luckily, our essential units, Mori, Calliope, and Kanata, are flying, therefore they hover over the water. As for new enemies, the Fuumoko robots did cause some trouble. They come in pairs and they run super fast. Additionally, if one is killed and the other isn't, after a while they revive the lost member. It can be trouble if you miss your instance, like I do. Halfway through, World 3 changes the layout to 3 lanes and 2 aquatic lanes. While originally I did worry about this setup, the new unit, Gargura, alleviated my worries with her triple Project Diva attack, similar to a 3-peater. Furthermore, we unlocked Elizabeth Rose Bloodfang, aka Miss Cut the Cord. If you know, you know. She functions as a melee attacker that can generate cheer. A usually useful unit, however in a run like mine, is unfortunately put to the wayside in favor of more instant kills. With these levels introduces a new nuisance of an enemy. The Mume Robo is practically a fast buckethead that can be dealt with instants. Its speed combined with its durability causes some problems when used in mass. Luckily, with a new problem comes a new solution, and one that basically carries for the rest of my run. Meet Kiryu Koko, the Yakuza dragon that breathes fire along one lane. Simple ability, no? However, when combined with Muna, a unit that brings all enemies to one lane, true devastation will occur. 3-6, however, will be the first roadblock in this blind speedrun. Initially, I didn't think this level would be much trouble. However, after finishing my first run, I realized I need to pause and genuinely think about the choices I was bringing in. 3-6 is the level that includes a bunch of mini robos with less health but increased speed. The true problem is the quantity they come out, and also when they come out. They practically give no warning if they're shooting out of spawn, and Mume robos with their increased defense completely shred through any normal shooting defensive unit. The final lineup I ended up on was Cecilia for her piercing damage and swarm of enemies appearing, Bibu, a new unit that is essentially a better Okayu with more defense, Sakamata Chloe, another new unit that throws all enemies to the right of the screen, Mori Calliope for catching stray robots, and Korone to hold down lanes until I can run for better units. With this team, I ended up crushing this wasn't really crushing, I actually got through with the skin of my teeth, but I got through anyways. A new level means new units and enemies. The Kaele Robo constructs a nether portal near the beginning of the lane that spawns Robo Bibus every so often. While we get Fauna, a unit that heals an adjacent units up to 3 times. Despite being a cool concept, I pretty much never use her due to never really needing a healing unit while speedrunning this game. We also unlocked I'm not actually sure what it is, but it allows you to place ground units to water and it kind of looks like a paddle, so we're going to call that. Before touching on the mid-boss of the game, let's talk about the last 2 unlocked units and the final new enemy of the world. Crony is a worldwide stun on all enemies, similar to an ice shroom. Good unit in a regular run, fortunately not very useful in the speedrun. Shion is the second unit acting similar to a lightning reed except looking more powerful. I assume this because her cost is still relatively expensive, at 200 shields. The final enemy introduced in World 3 is the Suicide Robot, a tanky unit that one-shots any enemy she comes across. A real problem until I pull out my one-shot Amane Kanata out of my comically large pocket. Oh, and I checked the broader platform is actually called a floaty, by the way. With that, we're throwing in for our first mid-boss, Robo Roboco, an ironic pick considering her original design is a robot, and I'm like 70% sure she's being controlled by something in this boss fight, but I have no idea since I sped round through the dialogue. I have no idea! She basically acts by shooting beams from the right side of the screen to deal damage to any lane. These are either in bursts, in small beam bolts, or in one strong bolt that's intended to destroy at least one unit. My core strategy is centered around an extremely strong mid lane, luring everyone to this mid lane through Muna, before slowly building up my defense in other lanes for a safe victory. I'm not sure this would be the fastest way to do it, but I'd rather beat a boss than have to restart. Defeating Roboco, we funnily enough unlock Roboco herself, who is essentially a Gatling beam, shooting 4 mini beams in short bursts. We'll be using her quite a bit, since to my knowledge, she's the best damage dealer in the game at this point. With that, we're throwing right into World 4, a sky-based level. While World 1 is a concert, World 2 was a festival, and World 3 was a beach/sea, World 4 was a sky-based level, seems thematically but off, but by God is this my favorite setting. The main mechanic here is similar to the water levels, except instead of water, it's the howling cascade of the winds and the clouds. Units that are somehow pushed into this row and are not flying are sent straight into the abyss, no matter how big or small. These levels to me hit the right hit between challenging enough and super fun. Unfortunately, since I discovered the previous loadout button, I did not get to try most of the units in this build, so unfortunately I have to skip most of them, as quite frankly I have no idea what they do. The new level designs also include a bounce pad as some sort of target. When an enemy goes onto the bounce pad, they instantly head to the target onto the corresponding lane, meaning melee damage is more important than ever on a level like this. Okay, now that 4-6 brings back the iconic Thunderstorm level from PvZ1, it also reminds me of all the new units' abilities. Takanashi Kiara is like a mix of the Endurian and Infinite from PvZ2, attacking and defending while also having a recovery mechanic after she dies. Ayunorisu is like a cabbage pole with a dart trip mechanic, hitting the most high priority target in the row. Reine is a unit that pushes enemies back. Now this sounds mediocre, but if you take into account that you can instantly kill any unit that's been pushed off into the air, this unit pops off. Tokino Sora is like a way better homing thistle, with homing in on the closest enemy while also having one pierce, while also being flurried. Tokino Sora is insane as a unit. And finally Botan, who from my understanding is basically Demoman TF2. The final enemy introduced before the final boss is Mori Calliope Mech, with a mini Bibu being palted after being hit at half HP. Oh wait, I also forgot the Kanata Robo, who just flies over your unit, and it's nothing too crazy. And with that, we've basically gone through the entire list of units and enemies. The rest of the playthrough is basically just a bunch of hard levels where they spam literally everything at you, and they just pray that you survive. Luckily, since I'm the GOAT, I survived these levels, but to prove it to you, I'm just going to do a little bit of a slight compilation with just the music of my successes. With that, we get introduced to the final boss, Mecha Yaku, a gigantic mech stage with a whopping 7-lane boss fight. He shoots missiles and slams his hands to destroy rows or groups of enemies. You can prevent this with the final new unit, Fugu, who puts a temporary shield around every unit to protect them from all damage for a short time. Additionally, in a previous level, of compilations, I unlocked a few more units. Other than that, this boss is pretty straightforward. Play your cards right, and you'll get through the boss like cutting through a piece of cake. The new units actually include Watame, who shoots a laser across the entire lane, and Laplace, who charges up a powerful ball and shoots it every now and again. And that's pretty much it. And now enjoy the boss fight.
Everyone just calm down. It's fine. If everyone calms down, we'll be okay. It's fine. Hope the back line's okay. I see a credit for taking it.
And with that, we complete the speedrun in a total time of 2 hours and 38 minutes, 0.32 seconds. It was actually a pretty fun journey, if you ask me. This part's not really scripted. But yeah, no, it was a super fun run. This game actually has a lot of love put into it, yeah. I've been following the artist for quite some time, so like low-key shouts to tiannya and I forgot his name. Pause. Yeah, props to Ano Yatsu, Dan N for the ending song called Cheer. Yeah, no, this game has actually been really great. Love all the people that worked on it. It's a fantastic game. Definitely, it's worth the price. $10 is nothing for the quality that you're getting here. And yeah, if you like PvZ, if you like Hololive, definitely try this game. Heck, maybe you could try speedrunning like I did, maybe see if you can get a better time. Or you could just, you know, chill and have some fun, you know, just take it slow and just play the game. But either way, it's a good time. Anyways, with that, we'll just leave it off there. Thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you later. Peace!